Hello, welcome to another dyno challenge. This time, I've got a Ford Fiesta on the dyno. The Exotica. This is a Ford Fiesta Zetec S. It is a mk7? mk7 Fiesta. It's a Zetec S. This does not have an eco boom. It looks like an eco boom kind of car, but it's not. This has the Sigma, the Yamaha-developed Zetec S engine. In this particular car, with variable valve timing, which I believe Ford coded VCT. I had a Mark V Fiesta Zetec S, W-Reg. It was a similar engine to this. It was 1.6, but 103 horsepower. This one could be a little bit more interesting because with the added variable valve timing, the book figure on this car is it's 118 if you're looking at Imperial, or 120 if you look at the metric DIN figure. The thing that interests me with this engine is, were you to take this engine out of this car and put it into a Focus or a C-Max or even some other Ford, I don't know. But the other Fords with this engine are rated at 125. Why is that? Could it be that this one is actually 125 and Ford downplayed it, doing a bit of a Peugeot to keep the insurance down? Well, it's possible. Sadly, we're not going to find out because this car also has been remapped. And so any results that we get today, throw that all up the wall, basically, because it could be a result of the remap. I mean, let's be fair to say, if it goes above the 125, it probably was underquoted from new. Remapping a naturally aspirated car really doesn't do much. It can improve them, but the gains are marginal, especially for the outlay. Whereas remapping a turbocharged car, a modern turbocharged car, huge differences, massive differences for not a lot of money. But we'll see how this one goes. So it's remapped. I don't know the map it's got. I'll put it in the comments if I find out, or in the description of the video if I find out what it is. And it has a catback fruity exhaust, and it has blue indicator bulbs. I don't think that makes any difference to power. But yeah, other than that, tidy little car, to be honest. It's weird. I look at this car and I think, that's a really new car. When I was setting up just now, I was putting in the HT lead clip to give the dyno computer a reading on the RPM, thinking that I wouldn't be able to do that. I was thinking I was going to have to sync it manually because this thing will have coil packs. No, it's got HT leads. It's actually kind of old school. And then I looked at the plate and thought, it just looks like a new car. And I looked at the plate and thought, that's 14 years old. That's 14 years old. So either this looks really modern, or I don't pay any attention to what modern cars look like. Probably that. Right, well, let's run it up. Let's see. 120 is the book figure. That means that standard, it should, in theory, on our leaderboard, come in third place. It should beat Hilda. Hilda is a Hillman Imp. So if this thing can beat a Hillman Imp, Hilda's not a standard Hillman Imp. But if it beats Hilda, it winds up in third place. If the remap combines with the possibility that this was underquoted from new, there's a chance this could get to second place on the leaderboard. We have a Citroen Saxo here, a VTR, but with a VTS engine, which is 128 is what that put out. There's a chance, isn't there? 60-odd thousand miles, it's nicely run in. Could this get to the 130s, or will it do the Ford thing? The Ford thing is, some Fords are like, they don't make the quoted figures from new. There are quite a few that don't do that. They're a bit hit and miss. Zetec's normally not too bad. Well, let's find out. Let's do it. Oh, I lit up like a bloody Christmas tree, and there it is. Right. What? What? Surely a remap on a naturally aspirated engine doesn't... What? Sorry, the camera keeps panning away because I keep like losing consciousness. So yeah. I mean, this dyno is a ball buster. This dyno is known by anyone who uses it as being one that doesn't really give you any... It doesn't give you a free ride. A lot of dynos are sympathetic. This one is normally a bit of a harsh mistress. Right, okay, I'm going to do another one. Let's do another one. Done it again. Starting to get a bit hot now. $139. Right, we need to have a little stop here and a little discussion, I think. Might also be worth looking to make sure he hasn't put a 2 litre under here or something. Nope, that is a Zetec S engine. Right, okay. Naturally, there's going to be a bit of conjecture here from anyone who watches a few of these videos. If you've watched, you know, a number of those, people are going to start thinking, why are some of these cars massively overheating? Well, this car isn't standard, as we know. It's possible that I'm about to be schooled here because, as far as I remember, I'll put down all the mods that it's got in the description below for anyone who's got one of these. Yeah, as far as I know, it's the remap, which I can actually tell it's got looking at that, and I'll show you why in a minute. The cat back exhaust, cat back, so it doesn't even take the cat out, so that probably doesn't make a massive difference. And the blue indicator bulbs. I can only assume that's what's doing it. I'm not actually going to pull the wool over your eyes here. I've done 4 runs now. That's 3. I've done 4 runs now. It's doing the same thing every single time. 139 horsepower. It's supposed to have 120. So how do you get to 139? Well, the 120 number, I think, is more likely going to be bollocks, basically. I think it is 125. I think Ford have just marketed it as 120 to get the cheaper insurance, or to get the insurance down on this car, because remember the ST is the hot one. That's the one that's expensive to insure. This is supposed to be a warm hatch for younger people, and you know, if you go around saying it's got 125 horsepower, well, it's not a huge amount, but it's more than 120. So if we say it started at 125, that's still an extra 14 horsepower found from a remap and from a catback exhaust. Is it a very good remap? It could be. Because this engine has variable valve timing, there is more you can do. If you're just remapping a naturally aspirated engine, there isn't a huge amount you can do. It's all to do with ignition timing and fuel. It's like fuel, well, it's basically injector timing. because the pressure behind the injectors is preset. So you just time how long they stay open for and when they open. With variable valve timing, you can do that, but you can also affect the timing of the camshafts. So you can get them, basically the variable valve timing is to give you the advantages of an aggressive cam at high revs, but without the disadvantages of it at low revs. High revs, aggressive cam is great. It revs and it goes and everyone's happy, but at low revs, they're all lumpy because there's valve overlap. There's a point where the inlet and the exhaust are open at the same time, and that makes it run lumpy and dirty, which means you won't get it through emissions tests, and it will just sit there chuntering away at the lights, although to be fair, I think they sound quite cool. But with variable valve timing, it does away with that. It rotates the cams slightly, it adjusts the timing only very slightly between the camshafts to get rid of overlap at low revs or idle, but to make them advance at higher revs. So you can play with that. If you're going to remap it, you can play with the fueling, you can play with the ignition timing, and you can play with the cam timing. So without getting another one on the dyno, and if anyone has a bitty basic bog standard Zetec S Mark 7, hit me up and I will run it for you for free, because I want to know what's going on. My gut feeling is that this would have made, I think it's 125 from the factory. This is just my guess. I reckon it would have been 125 from the factory, despite what Ford said. I reckon if it had gone on a bog standard, it probably would have done about 127, 128, because it's loosened up a bit, and it does happen. You do get some engines. Zetec S's are good engines, designed by Yamaha at the end of the day. Have you noticed any Ford that's got a good engine in it, the engine wasn't made by Ford? Like the Geratec's a Mazda engine, the Cosworth engine is a Cosworth engine. This is a Yamaha engine. The Focus ST has a Volvo engine. Did Ford make any decent engines of their own? The Crossflow was quite good in its day, wasn't it, when it first came out? But whatever. Yeah, anyone wants to bring one down, hit me up. Because I think it probably would have been 127, 128 as a standard car, in good health with that kind of mileage on it. Anything up to about 120,000 miles, it wouldn't have made a difference. And then I think it's got I don't think the catback was made a difference really. Maybe at high revs it did. Depends how restrictive the standard exhaust is, but maybe. But the remap, I can't guarantee this guy's remaps are excellent, but on the face of it, they might be excellent. Next thing he needs to do is take this out and do a 0 to 60 test in it with a draggy box or something and see if it ends up being a lot quicker than it's supposed to be. Well, not a lot quicker, but, you know, 4/10 quicker or something than it's supposed to be. Because let's have a look at the graph. I'll show you what I mean. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit flummoxed here. Right, so here's both your runs. This is the very first run I did is red, and the run I did just then is black. So you can see straight away they're consistent. It's not like one's gone off a bit. I mean, the red one was down a bit, so I think if anything, the car was a little bit too cool. And I think, well, I was thinking it was getting too hot, but maybe it's got a bit of a kick here that something's not quite right there. Could that variable valve timing, oil supply maybe a little bit blocked or something like that? The solenoid might need a bit of a clean. I don't know, I'm just guessing. But one of the things I've noticed straight away is if we, I'll pause it and bring up the 106 Rally on the screen, or the Saxo. Let me find the Saxo, hang on. Right, so what I've brought up on the screen here, it's going to be, they're not completely comparable because of the various factors involved. But basically what we've got here is the green line is the Saxo up there. Now, I've actually realised that Saxo should actually have more than 128. It's 128, but that was SAE. And I stopped using SAE some years ago because that's how long ago that was. Honestly, that run was done, oh, God knows, 10 years ago, something like that, 9, 10 years ago. But the graph is the same. So, and it has now converted to DIN. So if I look at the Saxo, it's actually, I was even surprised, look, 132.8 is what that should actually be. But yeah, the graph is the same. It's just the figures that it ends up with at the end. But we're not interested in that. We're interested in the Fiesta. So what I've noticed is that the Saxo dips early on here, and that's just where the power's coming on. I'm guessing these were both started at the same speed. No, if anything, That's weird. Maybe the Saxo was started at 25. I think that might be why that's funny. Yeah, so that's why you can't compare these runs, because I've not done them in the same conditions. The Saxo was already going. It was already at 40 horsepower at 30 miles an hour, which means I must have started the run at 25, whereas now I start them all at 30, because I've generally just started doing this like as a constant thing. So I need to do the Saxo again, really, don't I? But anyway, so ignoring that, I'm going to have to overlay them like this, because that's the only way it makes sense. So what you notice here is the Saxo is a bog standard car. It's just producing decent power. It's fairly similar, but then when it gets near the top of the rev range, it curves off. It hasn't had every little last ounce squeezed out of it. And as you can see, I revved it out. I mean, that's... The limiter is coming in there at about 7,400. But that is the limiter on a VTS. I think it's 7,400. So it was still going at 7, whereas the Fiesta died off at 6.5. But you notice with the Fiesta, it was still climbing. When the limiter cut in, it was still going. So that makes you wonder, why did the remapper not take the limiter off it? Or move it up a bit, you know, even if you took it up to 7 or 6.8, 6.9, that probably would, I mean, it had started to curl off, but it probably would have got to about, it would have been in the 140s. But regardless, the reason why I think this is definitely a case of it being remapped is the fact that it's just such an abrupt stop. You don't get that on standard cars. You just don't get it. They tend to do this. You get this kind of broad bit at the top where it kind of slowly starts tailing off. I don't know what the reason for that is, if I'm honest. I don't know what the actual reason why it's set like that. A lot of people say, well, why would the manufacturer not just set it like this? Well, the manufacturer could have got more power out of it standard than they did. They're obviously balancing durability with, you know, insurance costs and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just a bit stunned, to be honest. I'm a bit surprised. I think I mean, really, we need to get another Fiesta. Anyone got one? I mean, the leaderboard is currently full of cars that have either underperformed, like that one and that one, or performed there or thereabouts where they're meant to be, like that one, and yeah, that one, and that one. That's done pretty well. And these, which did amazingly, and that. And cars that have gone way over and above, like the Dump It, and this, and that one, this one. Oh, I mean, there's auto shenanigans at the top, look, but not for long. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it's meant to be. So it's full of cars that either underperform, hit expectations, or overperform. But has anything, apart from Hilda, which is a bit of a cheat code because it's got a different engine in it, has anything overperformed that much? I mean, it's not a standard car, so you can't... Maybe you have to say that it is mildly tuned, but that really is something. Now, as I mentioned in the Skoda Felicia video I did the other day, I'm updating the board. I'm revising it so that it's easier to adjust these, because these are all stuck on. I didn't think I was going to get so many cars on there so quickly, but yeah, the Skoda would have ended up about there. No, it wouldn't. It would have ended up here. But the Fiesta, you just have to imagine, second place. 1.6 Fiesta is in second place. 139. It's basically gone on and done. It's just poo-pooed over everything I said about remapping a naturally aspirated car. I've only ever had one other naturally aspirated variable valve timed car on here that had been remapped. It was an MGTF. It put out nearly 15 horsepower less than the book figure and ended up splitting a piece of the piston at the back door through the exhaust. So yeah, that was not quite as successful as this. I've got to be honest, I'm just going to end the video here because I can't think of anything to end on. It's kind of, I'm a bit stunned. I've done so many dyno tests on this dyno. I know it so well. Raise the rev limiter on it. Get it to 7,000. Let's see. I reckon we could bring down John with a Fiesta.